Derivatives trading involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Fast performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. How's it going? Good morning. Oh, I kind of gotta get rid of that. Actually, why do I even have that open, huh? All right, so it is Tuesday, 27th. Pretty calm markets overnight. If we come over here to the charts, you know what? We should put that little thing over here. Anyways, the little ticker. You can see here, E-mini hasn't moved a whole lot. Treasuries hasn't moved a whole lot. Um, I would say pretty likely. Well, they tried to tick down. There's a pretty strong offer there at evens. The market is getting a little bit more liquid, actually. Well, it's more liquid than it was yesterday, at least. So there's that, which is nice. But I'm a little yeah, I don't know. You know what? This sounds a little bit light to me. Doesn't that sound a little bit light to you guys? I don't know. You tell me if it's too quiet. But anyways, they say don't short a dull market. That's kind of what this looks like to me. I suspect that the e-mini traders are going to come out this morning and they're going to try and sell it super hard, and then the BPT comes in and saves them. Could be. That's kind of what I see happening. So let's well, I think I might be having some issues here with YouTube. I'm not seeing. There we go. Hey, Gabriel says, "How my little friend happy? I'm happy today." Well, that's good. Did you make some money today? Yeah, something's wrong. Something's wrong. Well, that's all correct. I mean, I could turn that up. I'm noticing that I'm barely even peaking over 10. So should I increase it? Well, wait, that doesn't do anything. Why doesn't that hmm. I must have the compressor just a little bit too high. Um Filters. How about that? Well, I don't know. That still didn't change. I'm still not peaking over 5. Oh! Okay, there we go. I'm just being really quiet today. Meh, I guess so. You say the market is good, huh? You already hit your goal today? Really? I don't know, how so what did you hit it in? Cuz treasury market looks really slow. Treasury market, US Treasury market looks pretty slow. Well, I don't know. We'll see what happens. More liquidity, but things look pretty dull. Let's tweet something. How many hours is where you live? It's 6:30 right now. So you're basically 3 hours ahead of me. Oh, liberals in parliament are trying to delay Brexit. Should be bearish for bonds. Yeah, if they do so, which, I mean, I don't know. It kind of sounds to me like the people that want a no deal Brexit are in the vast minority, but it also sounds like that nobody can agree on anything enough to actually get anything through Parliament. Is that incorrect? Kind of what it seems like. Oh, let's come over here and add. While nothing's happening, let's come in here and add the text here. Add existing news. Put that down there. There we go. Sweet. Okay. Well, it's showing us a little bit of a bump there. I think, well, it's the end of the month. Let's also roll over. Okay, something just happened. Something Beijing says it's still not aware of calls cited by Donald Trump. Okay, doesn't change anything. I think that the robots were just getting a little ahead of themselves. Treasuries ticked one tick down. You know, this China thing with the calls, the whole calls thing, kind of interesting. Because it seems to me, you gonna get a spank here? We'll try it. Today, we're going to be responsible. Okay. Man. So the thing is in case you're not aware, yesterday Donald Trump and his team said that they're talking to Beijing, and then Beijing came out and was like, "We don't know what phone call you're talking about." And so now it's kind of like the Chinese versus the Trump administration, and which one are you going to believe? And it really is quite an interesting conundrum because honestly, they're both going to lie to you. And I believe I have a theory. I have it. This is a really good theory. No, stick with me here. Trust you. You're gonna understand this, right? Here's my theory. They're both lying. They're both lying. Donald Trump is probably talking about not the same call. Like they had some call to just kind of organize better their meeting in September. And China is lying because there what kind of was a call, but it wasn't the call that they're both lying. Trump and Xi both want to seem like they're the big boy, but secretly they're both nervous. I think so. Well, I would put an addendum to that, no monkey. I think that Donald Trump really did believe up until like Friday that everything was fine. But I think that when everything went down on Friday, he seemed really mad and triggered. He seems like going to the G7 kind of calmed him down, which is good. But yeah, I think he's nervous. I think that she is nervous too. You know, somebody was pointing out the other day. I think it was on National Review. I have to go and find it. Maybe it was just a Reddit comment though. But they're pointing out that if Donald Trump screws this up, you know, he might maybe not get elected. The thing is that his opponents right now, I mean, the front runner was Joe Biden, although he plummeted in a poll yesterday. But um, so now you got Elizabeth Warren, who I think almost has a higher unfavorability rating than Donald Trump. Um, anyways, so even if he totally screws it up, he might still get elected. But if he screws it up, he's dead. That's the way that things go down in communist China, guys. Huh? You bet she is nervous. And you notice they've been pegging the yuan a little bit higher than we thought. Yeah, the Chinese are not happy with the way things are going. You say ES is going to fly if Brexit gets delayed. Can they actually do you think that they have the votes though? That's the question. So I don't see anything about it yet. Let's see here. They would only need a handful of conservatives to vote yes. Okay. That's very curious, no monkey. So let's what would you say is the over under on it? Because it seems that as of late the conservatives have been fairly unified, but I don't think that they're unified on this issue. I think Boris Johnson and his I don't want to call him loonies because I kind of like him, but you know, there's like the hardcore supporters that are like, we're doing this. And then everybody else is like, nah, let's just, kick the bucket like we do everything else. Betting markets saying only 50-50. Really? Sounds like you think that the probability is better than 50% though, huh? Well, this may move up. Hey, there we go. So I'm kind of not liking that because there was no reason for it to tick up into 131 even. It just kind of did it. Well, the 5-year was the one that pushed it, but still, come on. Oh, and I hate when I reset the DOM because I got in a trade and it didn't reset these ones. That's why they were off. Betting.betfair.com. Well, that's one I haven't used. I've been using Predicted. So I'm having a little trouble with Predicted because I think at this point you have a pretty good chance that if you bet on Buttigieg and Kamala Harris, that at some point in the future they're going to see a bump. With Joe Biden failing hard right now, he's pretty likely that they're going to go in search of an alternative to Bernie and Warren. And they will hope that they can get Buttigieg and Kamala Harris to be moderate enough to, pull that demographic. Although Kamala Harris has kind of tried to pull that demographic and then kind of not tried, and who knows what they will do. But I still think it's a decent bet. But if they do that, how much would you actually get out of it? Because they're like Buttigieg they're only giving him like 8% right now. And if it goes, maybe it goes to, let's say, 15%, Is that worth it? Double your money? I don't know. Maybe. It's kind of sketchy though. I believe that the collapse in Joe Biden is good for Buttigieg, but we shall see. Buttigieg will need a good debate to take advantage of it, probably. And the debate's not for 2 or 3 weeks, right? Okay, well, that was a good trade. I'm getting a counter signal and a zipper in the 5-year. Could be a continuation. A lot of this, though, was because they overextended. Let's just move it down here. I think that because this was, they were selling it because of the Brexit thing, or not the Brexit thing, I think they were selling it because of the China thing, and now it's ending up being a nothing burger, and that volume had to unwind, you know. I think that +4 is probably prudent. Ugh, there's that thread. Yesterday on Reddit, one of the top stories on Reddit was trickle down. Wait, let me get the correct title here. What was it? Oh, where is it? Oh, that's right. Well, I lost it. Basically, they said that trickle down is a lie. that conservatives tell that they're lying, that they know that it doesn't work, and that they lie about it to make the wealthy more wealthy. Was basically the gist of the article, and kind of irked me because trickle down isn't a thing. It's not a thing. I think everybody knows that if you give somebody money, they might do something smart with it. They might not. And that's the thing. Is why is it that if the government spends money, that's positive for the economy, but if people are allowed to keep their money and spend it in the way that they see fit, that's not good for the economy? Hmm? What's with that? That's not trickle down. That's just economics. And we're not saying like give the rich people money so that it'll trickle down or anything like that. We're just saying let the free market work. And I don't think it's trickle down because it doesn't necessarily trickle down. But I don't think that anybody believes. I don't think that anybody, even the supply side economic people, believe in like quote unquote trickle down economics. It's not a thing. It was a thing. It was a thing before the Great Depression, and it's not a thing anymore. Okay, cool. Maybe it goes for more, but I think that 4 was probably what we should be doing, considering we're getting some signals and it's a zipper and what the impetus was for it and the fact that we're rolling over. Probably going to regret saying that later. But you know what? So another thing I should keep in mind. You know what? Yesterday was a dumpster fire. Oh man. I'm embarrassed about yesterday. Quite frankly, I'm embarrassed. I should be embarrassed because it was pretty bad. But it's rollover week. Uh, None of it counts anyways. Well, none of it on Treasuries counts. We did take the ones on the E-mini and those count. But I don't think that I should trade on rollover week with my live account. And um, my plan was not until after Memorial Day, anyways. So it doesn't count. But yesterday was a dumpster fire. I feel like that I have to come in today and I need to be a responsible person because I'm sitting here like, oh my gosh, people are going to come. They're going to see that and they're going to think, hey, that's what I should do. I should YOLO. No, don't do what I did yesterday. I was dinking around. All right. You take a lose like that, you just stop trading. All right. IQ asks whose booty you're talking about. No, I'm not talking about anybody's booty. I'm talking about the booty judge. The booty judge, yes. Oh, I didn't. You posted that a while ago. Why didn't I not see that when you posted it? I don't see any other outcome from that though. You think that Warren will just run? The market thinks Elizabeth Warren is just going to run away with it. But the thing that they forget is that there's like the Elizabeth Warren voters right now, and most of them have been convinced over to her. Everybody else hates her. Everybody else hates her. I mean, the thing is, if you think about it from the market's perspective, from politics to sex, no trading, well, right? Well, I don't know. This market still looks pretty dull. It's not really a dull market, is it? But it appears pretty dull. Okay, there you go. There was another tick. Wah, wah, wah. Too late to try and getting in it again. But the market thinks that Elizabeth Warren is just going to run away with it. When I say the market, I mean like the betting market. But everybody else hates her. And when you look at it from the perspective of the stock market, okay, Elizabeth Warren is probably the worst thing that could possibly happen. Probably the worst thing. It's Dole by ZV, right? Right? They're buying it up for sure. They are buying it up for sure. Um, if if Bernie Sanders gets elected, all right, let's think about this for a second. Bernie Sanders, he's had like like one bill. He's written like one bill or whatever the deal is since he's been in Congress, and he pretty much is just intractable on everything. What is intractable? The word? That's not the right word. I don't know what the right word is. But basically he super sticks to his principles, which are way too high for any kind of political practicality, and so he never gets anything done in Congress. He hasn't done anything in Congress, right? I'm not bashing on Bernie because I hate him or anything like that, although I do hate him. But it's just the fact is that he hasn't gotten a whole lot done in Congress. And I think that if he got elected to be president, then not a whole lot would happen. It would kind of be like the Trump administration or the Obama administration, but worse, because he would not be able to get anything through Congress, and so then he would try pushing things through courts, and the courts will be so tilted conservative by that point that he won't be able to do anything. Okay, that's Bernie Sanders. Elizabeth Warren, on the other hand, she might not be able to get anything passed either, but Elizabeth Warren is not somebody that just kind of sits around. You know what I'm saying? If she's not trying to get something passed through, she's going to be saying something that the market doesn't like. I'm telling you, Elizabeth Warren would be worse for markets than Bernie Sanders. I think they would both be pretty bad for markets. But I think that the markets, and of course, I'm saying something that it's always going to prove you wrong. I should put an addendum to this that it's like we say that Bernie Sanders is bad for markets, and then he'll get elected and markets will be okay. That's kind of the way that things kind of work because the stock market can go completely counter to who is in office. Okay, that's totally a thing for sure. But the market, in terms of like before the election and everything like that, they're absolutely going to look at either of them winning as a negative, especially Elizabeth Warren. So that's why I think they're going to try very, very hard. They're going to try very, very hard to try and get Buttigieg or Kamala Harris to become a viable challenger to those two. And they're going to try and get those two. That's their name now, those two. They're going to try and get those two to fight with each other. Okay, so there was a pretty hard step back at O2. They offered a good 2,000 on that downtick. Old news seems ranging as main scenario today. Maybe risk on if good news, hard to guess. Today, very low volume and vola in Euro bonds slash certain boarding action, says Alligator. I'm really happy to have Alligator back, but have you ever... I get this thing at my gym where, like, we'll have a person. We really, really like this person. So for instance, we had this one girl come in, and this blonde girl, and she was very, very, very good weightlifter. Um, she was actually made alternate for the Olympic team. She was really good. But life circumstances conspired against her, and she's graduating from school and all that, and so she couldn't really continue to weightlift as much as she wanted. So it's like, oh man, we lost her. And it was like a good thing for, like, the social dynamic in the gym and everything like that. But I'm telling you, every time that somebody leaves, somebody else comes along. So we got another girl that also has blonde hair and has the same name and is also pretty good. And like everything's cool now. But it's like the same thing. Like we had Alligator was gone. Alligator came back, and then we lost Uzi. Now I don't know where Uzi is. I think he did tell us he was going on vacation, didn't he? I just have a terrible memory. But I would have thought he would be back this week, but probably not. Maybe not even until after Memorial Day, but we'll see. Isn't it weird how that sort of a thing works? Of course, we're just experiencing cognitive bias, or sorry, confirmation bias. But still, it's kind of hard not to see it. Yeah, O2 would have been the spot. So I took it at 31, right? Why do I have like that? I took it at 31. So it could have gotten 6, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. For a minute there, I thought you were going to say that the person in the gym turned out to be a future star. No. Nope. I think that if I started talking with any of the girls from my gym about futures, that their eyes would glaze over. Especially that high school girl. She's a great girl, but she would not be interested in finance in the slightest. You got to realize the demographic that we're talking about here, Weightlifting. Weightlifting is not an easy sport, right? You're talking about. So we have this one girl, and I think it's okay for me to use her name. Her name is Brittany. You can find her on Instagram. Her Instagram name is Weightlifting Barbie. So you can see her, but she's a world champion. That's why we can talk about her. She actually just won world championships just this past week, which was quite surprising because she hurt her foot, and then she was able to recover. But when you consider, like for Brittany, okay, so first of all, she lives over here in Davis County. It's like a 40-minute drive down to the gym, okay? 40-minute drive to the gym, first of all. And then when you're at the gym, you're usually there at least 90 minutes, if not more. And then you add, like, the driving time and the warm up and stretching time and all of that sort of a thing. You know, you're spending a couple of hours every day doing this. And then her, if she has an off day, she goes and does bodybuilding stuff over at the Globo gym. You know, it's just, it's a lot of effort. It is a lot of time, basically to win and to look good. I mean, let's be honest, I think everybody at the gym wants to look good too, but not the primary concern. But it's certainly a thing, right? That's the sort of a thing that we at the gym, that's what we're focused on, you know. And if I want to talk about finance, heck no, that's not wrong demographic. Wrong demographic. I tell you what, though, I do not know where I would be if I did not have that gym. Because when I got divorced, that was like it. It's funny because I started going because of my ex. We went because it was supposed to be the best thing for my ex, but then she stopped doing it, and I kept going, and that was my. I mean, I'd still say it's my social group. So kind of interesting. Anyways, probably random, boring thought, but man, what else are you going to talk about in this market, right? We already talked about all the interesting things. Gosh dang it, Seth. You talk too quickly. I need to learn how to draw things out and bore you guys even more. Mm-mm-mm. Well, it's interesting to me. They did tick 300 into O2 half. I wouldn't. It wouldn't be out of the question for them to try and go up to O4. I'm glad that amused you wrong. Mm-mm. We should change our headlines down here at the bottom, shouldn't we? So I think we should say, okay, so one headline is Biden's support collapses in new poll. I forget who the poll was from. Who was the poll from? Mm-mm. There was a bunch of stuff after that. Oh, yes, it was Monmouth. That's our headlines today. Oh, I have to add the tabs after it. There we go. We got anything else maybe interesting to stick down there? Japan communicating with Iran to ease regional tension. So the Iran thing. This is something that we haven't talked about that has kind of been going on and that's kind of been going through my head. Because remember when Iran seized the oil tanker and the British seized an oil tanker, and I was pretty triggered about it. Is triggered the right word? And but then They both just held the one ship that they had, and nothing has happened since. And it kind of turned into nothing. So I'm wondering if maybe my initial reading about Iran was wrong. Maybe Iran really is kind of scared and we're just reacting to the British. You know? I don't know. Maybe we can only hope, right? They're not really stacking up at 025. That's a little. That kind of almost makes you want to try and buy 0.5 and see if you can get filled. Well, you would have gotten filled right there. I'm not getting a signal, so probably I should not, but I think that you could buy 0.5 because they're not stacking liquidity at 0.2. They should be. So that tells me that we could get sucked up through 0.2 and start trading into 0.3. Bitfinex posting a chart here. What is this? Just to laugh. That dog sure wants out this morning. Well, I can't handle this anymore. I'm going to go and let him out, all right? British let the Iran tanker go away. Yeah, you're right. They did. But then there was also another tanker going towards Syria or something like that, and I didn't hear what happened with that one. Good morning, Ace. I'm actually seeing something happen in the E-mini. I'm gonna kind of keep it here. Keep myself ready just in case. Oh, jeez. He says it looks like the energy is long. I would say so. I suspect that somebody's going to come in and try and sell it, but then maybe it doesn't work. 28.94.25. Hmm. Okay, let's watch it. I'll take it with you. I'll take one. And so here's something from Dudley. There is an argument that the election itself falls within the Fed's purview. After all, Trump's re-election arguably presents a threat to the U.S. and global economy and to the Fed's independence and its ability to achieve its employment and inflation objectives. If the goal of monetary policy is to achieve the best long-term economic outcome, then Fed officials should consider how their decisions will affect the political outcome in 2020. Well, I don't know what the context of that comment is, but I'm going to bet that probably he's making an argument that you got to be careful when you start saying that the Federal Reserve should be able to make policy based on for instance what's going on in the trade war, because when you extend that logic, it can get political very, very quickly. FX macro. Did we ever figure out whether Trump can fire Powell? No. Well, he could, but he would need support from other people. IQ says that he's long from 92. Any news today? So I do think at 7 o'clock we get. Oh, we just had HPI actually. At 8 o'clock we get CB Consumer Confidence and Richmond Manufacturing Index. That's so far in advance here that don't really need to worry about it. And the HPI composite HPI was 2.1 versus 2.5. But it doesn't really look like that the market cares too much about that. Sure is slow. Hmm. What did I just say there about if Donald Trump can fire the Fed chairman? I think the thing is that the chairman has a term, and the president probably could come in and say you're fired, but then he would need backup, and Congress and the judiciary probably wouldn't back him up. Okay, well, it's fallen down a little bit. As it's doing so, though, I can see some buying, or rather some interest. Look at that. So I'm assuming that move down would have erased Ace's signal there, huh? But I think we should still be looking at it. Got a long signal at 29.92.50, but I was asleep. Oh, Ace took it, but it was out with the loss. Okay. See, I'm tempted to take it down here, but I think that we would want to see a little bit of positive momentum before we take it, huh? Another good long signal. Now on the split side, Treasuries came down there to that 01. They're zippering and maybe possibly moving higher. There actually looks like that there was some interest. There's actually some bidding interest there in the 5-year. Okay. Hmm. Hmm. Okay. Something's going on. Russian dispute in Turkey's Erdogan will discuss sensitive regional issues. Russian president says ahead of bilateral meeting in Moscow. Blah blah blah. Oh, they had their own G7. Just just Russia and the one a relatively major world. Well, I guess China would be in there too. They could have the G3: Turkey, China, and Russia. Hmm. Hmm. Okay. My spot seems to be holding. Not really my spot. Ace. It's Ace's spot. Maybe Ace was just early. Hmm. Definitely something happening in Treasuries. Okay. New high there. So if I can get that, I definitely want to take it. Yeah. Sometimes a tight stop isn't your friend, yeah. Well, that was kind of what I was wondering is how do you get a good win rate with a 3-tick stop on the E-mini? You must, but you have a really, really good signal, it seems. Honestly, though, I was surprised that you said that you took it because it always seems to me like when you take it that there was a little bit of momentum as it happened. In that time, it was kind of like you gave that price and it was just kind of sitting there, and I was like, okay, well, so we should just wait for a bit, right? Them bidding this up though at this particular time of day is pretty bullish, wouldn't you say? Because I was bored and have to go make breakfast. I gotcha. I tell you what, though, when you're bored, that's when they kill you, right? So I'm getting an imbalance now in the Treasuries. Um, this imbalance is a little weird because the 10-year has come back up to 0.2 half. The 5-year is actually a little bit lower. It's at the bottom end of the range that we've had. So it looks to me like we're getting some pretty heavy flattening on the curve going on today. Are we seeing the flattening in the 2 and 10 spread as well? We are. That's a little concerning. And they're buying the 30s. Yep. So we're inverted by about 30 basis points right now. Well, I haven't looked, but when I woke up, it was inverted about 30 basis points. It's probably getting worse now. Okay, interesting. So quite a bit of volume there at 0.2 half. I think you're going to see a big iceberg at 0.2 half. They're selling, for the knob spread basically. Well, with a better stop, that would have been my 2 points, yeah. So the thing I'm thinking right now is I could just take it out at 28.96.25. I only have one contract on. But I think there's some single prints. Are they single prints? They're not single prints. Oh no, yeah, they are single prints. There are single prints all the way up to 2950, and I'm wondering if they're going to go for that. Well, the 5-year is selling down out of its range. Are they going to drag the 10-year? That's a reversal. I don't think I want to take it. I don't like taking trades in the 7 to 7:30 time period in Treasuries. It's the signal was a short. It looks like it's confirming. Iran's President Rouhani steps back from a potential diplomatic opening with the U.S. as hardliners at home warn against showing weakness. Hmm. The way this is going down is not good, folks. I mean, it does look like the E-mini is in a buy mode and that we could continue buying, but the treasuries are selling and they are flattening quite hard as they're doing it. Moody's downgrades outlook for global investment banks. Tropical storm approaching Puerto Rico 2 years after Hurricane Maria. Has it really been 2 years? Wow. Okay. Another good little impulse there. Should get rid of this. We can watch that. There we go. Another little sweep higher in the E-mini. And Treasury's falling out again. The correlations are going in the right direction. Although, higher interest rates not necessarily good for the E-mini or anything, but it doesn't look like they care. At the moment, at least, it doesn't look like they care. We're saying that this is a pretty dull market and that it's a little boring. But you know what? The markets have been so crazy this past little while. I think that we should just watch this nice little movement here and just kind of enjoy it. Just kind of enjoy it because, in a week or two, it might be like the world's on fire again. So stressful when the world's on fire. They're doing that FYT. You see them selling the 5 and buying the 10? And you can see the orders. There's a robot putting the orders in at the exact same time. Look at that. All the way back. Still going. Probably going to keep going. Well, I wish I had that short in the 10-year for statistical purposes, but I'm in a. Well, I said I don't like taking it in front of at that particular time of day, and I was in a trade already, right? But look at that thing go. It's That was like a complete collapse. And just judging by the volume, looks like a lot of people got caught holding the bag on that one. Notice that the cumulative delta in the 10-year didn't really drop. Cumulative delta in any of them didn't really drop. It just moved down. Zero hedge yield curve is crashing as stocks surge into the open. Boom. Still going. So it's giving me an out signal now at 30. Which means that there's a possibility that they actually, well, 40% chance that they keep going. And I would say probably, even if it does reverse, they might still touch 29. Although the 30-year is definitely chopping around a bit. And since we're flattening, they're going to be the first ones to buy. ECB member making interest rate comments that are scaring people. Not seeing that. What did he say exactly? Scaring people, scaring bondholders? Hmm. So we should take this moment and enjoy how quiet it is. There's no birds screaming, there's no dogs barking. Isn't it nice? You know what I did yesterday because I was working from home? Is I put the birds in the basement. I thought maybe I was going to have time to record a video or something after lunch, but I didn't. I had to go pick up the kids. And yeah, it was quiet. I put the birds downstairs. It was quiet. It was very, very nice. So I had a whole afternoon, no birds screaming. It was like, how do I live my life? Negative rates, ECB willing to go deeper. Ooh, I gotcha. I gotcha. That would cause them to sell. Um, I mean, the question is, how bad are negative rates? I think we all say like, well, I think we all have this like instinctive reaction to be like, negative rates? That's not supposed to happen. That must be really, really, really bad. But like the thing is, if people continue to buy the debt, it's not necessarily a bad thing, right? Well, I mean, it's a bad thing for some people and it's a good thing for other people, but for the government, if they're able to offer negative rates and people still buy them, that's a really good deal for the government. So then the question becomes, how low can they go before the bond buyers revolt? Right? You get a collapse in yield followed by a collapse in prices? You know? That wouldn't be good. Sitting here pretty calm. Sitting here thinking about if I should get out before it goes or not. Given the up momentum, I think that we could, you know, be okay, but let's just kind of play it by ear. Hmm? I'm not sure, but ECB slash Fed divergence could be a driver. Dovish comments Euro side eyeing Euro. Looks like they stopped there at 30. They might just hold it there until the equities open. That little spike that we got there at 30 was probably the exit. before the open. Brett Stevens from the New York Times quits Twitter after being called bedbug. Really? Man. You know, it's kind of weird to see internet culture today because I remember back in like 2000 when everything was on forums before Reddit and all this other nonsense. Everybody was posting on forums like V bulletin boards, and people would say the meanest things to you. And if you didn't like fully source everything and really double check your research and everything, people would just destroy you. They took the online arguments super seriously, and what we do today is just kind of childish in comparison. And we're all, they're all fighting with boxing gloves on, and everybody's all like, "Oh, this is so toxic," and "I'm quitting Twitter," and all this sort of stuff. And I'm just kind of like, I just can't help whenever I see that to feel like, grow a backbone, pussy. Even though I'm the kind of person that very much hates it when everybody's like, personal attacks and stuff like that. Like that super bothers me. But at the same time, I'm like so used to receiving that kind of activity that anytime that people start, you know, whining about it, I'm just like, come on. Alligator says, yes, totally insane. So crazy. Every week I hear even more economists thinking about helicopter money literally filling bank accounts. Yeah. Well, it's good for us, right? Well, they're hitting into 29 now. Should have taken that short. Man, good trade, huh? Was it 025? 8 ticks now? I'd certainly say that the shape and direction of yields is bullish for stocks. It's very much looking risk on. And yet, the way that they are doing it is a little disconcerting to me because they are crazy flat. Like that the 10 and 5, it went from 107.94 to 107.88. So we steepened by about 8 basis points there. Well, actually, I don't know what a basis point is in comparison to prices, but by about 8 ticks. Some selling. All right. Got about 10 seconds here. I'm gonna risk it. Okay? Because I'm not risking a whole lot. Okay. The very first impulse was a sell. It was kind of a short one, but pretty tight for the first little minute. Decent numbers trading here. Okay. Well, they overcome the sellers there. Not quite able to get over the open, though. Well, worth a look. I was really hoping that they were going to badoosh, but they didn't. We could take another one in 15 minutes, so let's see what they do. Because this still kind of looks to me like sell it and then, get destroyed. Philip Morris confirms merger talks with Altria. Turks. Talks. Yeah, they're developing an okay range, but it still kind of looks bullish to me. They did sell pretty good. About 3K sold. I wonder why my MES didn't load things incorrectly. Didn't load the open correctly. This right here, it was open. Let's load it for these ones too. Hmm. Still pretty. I mean, they're still selling, but it's pretty casual, let's say. $66,000 tethers sent back to the Treasury. Meanwhile, Bitcoin drops a couple percent and Tether, as usual, falls to 99 cents. So did somebody just exit Tether there? Did somebody actually redeem their tethers? Does that happen? He says choppy at the open. Yeah. I would still say bullish, though. Don't you think? So there you go. They're kind of getting over the open. There you go. Maybe I could buy it right there. Right there. Hmm. Yeah. Okay. I think you want it like right there. This is kind of one of those things, though, that if they go down and catch you, that maybe you don't want it anymore. Okay. Interestingly enough, all that selling has come out in cumulative delta. The Treasury is telling me to go short here. Yes, it's still choppy here. A few ticking into that high. Kind of doing that consolidation triangle thing. I see 2900, says Miss Cleo. I mean, I think so too, but they're probably going to take their sweet time doing it. This very much feels like um, they're letting them sell as much as they want before they push it, which means that you have to take heat, which I don't like. Ace is giving a short setup now. Okay. Well, don't like that. So let's get out of this. My treasury trade still looks good. Well, sure enough, there's your short. $28.97.50 was swing high. They're selling it some more. Hmm. So it's starting to give me a really strong signal here in the 10-year, but that tick up makes it incredibly unclear. Do I see something here? It still says sell. Look at how much level 2 activity there is. IQ went long. He says, drop you filthy bitch. Didn't you already get your 2 points? Something's up. Oh, I did, but I had to erase my previous loss also. Yeah, okay. And you have to leave again. If this really breaks higher, it could be quite a strong move. It doesn't make sense. Why would that be a long? Could do it though. I mean, is that right there? Is that a breakout higher, or is it they're going to sell it? I would be inclined to think that you got 5 ticks higher there, and they're going to sell it. But it might be difficult, if not impossible, to know which way it's going to go because they're trading off of the E-mini. Okay. Hmm. My oh my. You took one off at 3. Hmm. Well, I tell you what, the E-mini there, back above the open, despite all the selling, the Treasuries busting through with tons of activity higher. It could end up being nothing, but they seem awfully excited. Sportytron 40 says I got a question. Well, then ask your question. Don't tell me that you have a question, just ask. Just ask. You know I'm good. You know I'm good for the answers. Come on, boy. Why wouldn't you just ask? No, I'm not like I'm a little I thought that I was getting confirmation that it was a breakout higher, but then as soon as it did that, it's kind of saying, I don't know. How many bitcoins will buy me an Andrew Luck? I don't know. Probably too many. Probably too many. I don't even know who that is. You see, that's not good right there. This is the buy that I wanted in the first place. I need to just chill out for a second. Well, I was long IQ, but then they scared me. I have to say, they did the long that I wanted in the ES, and they kind of disappointed me there. They did not touch where they were supposed to. This is an ugly, ugly short. This is an ugly, ugly way for this to play out. If I hadn't already tried a few times going long and failed, I think I would be shorting the E-mini right now. But let's just say that we missed that one today. Especially since your risk reward here going down to the previous high isn't particularly great. IQ says done, I'm out. Y07. Hmm. A little bit of an imbalance here at 01. Because they stop normally on the quarters. Oh, I got you. I was just thinking 03 to 07 wasn't is. If four takes $100. Hey Jake, how's it going? I'm a little upset that we were buying at evens and I got scared out and then they went up. I'm not I don't think I'm doing so great on the mental aspects here. I'm letting them freak me out. I'm trading scared, I feel like. But there you can see the pullback in ZB now. Yeah, you're correct. Consumer confidence coming up here. CB, consumer confidence. What's the difference between that one and the one that we just got? Based on surveyed households. Pretty okay tick up there. I should note, though, that even though we've steepened a little bit on this move up, it's still nothing compared to that move down. So let's stay out and wait now. Although what I'm seeing here kind of tells me that they could continue to move higher in treasuries. And I'm going to bet because the consumer confidence number that they're expecting is 129.3. I don't think it's going to be 129.3. So I think that I could do something like something like that. One 129.3. And that's what we need is a tobacco giant. The merger of Philip Morris and Altria. That kind of sounds kind of scary to me. Okay, so we got about minute 10 seconds now. We get to find out. Everybody's watching. Media's like, okay, let's see how good of a job we did here in destroying consumer confidence in the past week. Seth wanted to know if you focus on fundamentals to support your bias or if you are purely a technical guy. I absolutely try and use the fundamentals to support my bias. And the way that I do that is that I need to make sure that the direction I'm taking is in line with the larger flows. So, like today, in order for me to be really buying this, um, like if the E-mini wasn't moving around and we had moved up, I would probably be shorting it. You know, because what reason do they have to do that? Well, the only reason is because the E-mini is falling apart. Okay, here we go. 5 seconds. Okay, it must have been good. Because they sold that. 135. You mean you gonna buy it? Mm, they're kind of trying. ES symbol change to UT unreadable trash. What? Don't know what that means, but okay. Well, a little surprised here. A little bit of chaos going on here in the E-mini. Oh, it was a joke. Okay. Yeah, that I'm super dense, like sometimes you have to explain things to me. uh, that was kind of interesting there at 005. They are putting an okay offer on it. The E-mini is trying to buy it up. Okay, there they had a little bit of progress. Scalping ZB for ticks. Manufacturing index was 1 versus an expected negative 12. Oh no, I was expecting a negative 2. And we got 1. Those were good numbers. Those were really good numbers. The numbers that we're getting are still saying that this whole mess is just nonsense. Is a big market crash even possible right now? Well, I don't want to sit down and say that something's impossible, but I would have a hard time seeing why they would crash the E-mini at this point. What would be the driver lower in ES at this particular moment in time? There would have to be some sort of new headline that would come out, I would think. He said new cycle high for the Conference Board labor market indicator. They're not hitting into 131 even in the Treasuries. E-mini is kind of really chopping around 28.93 or so. I guess 28.94 where you would put it. And you can see there they really bought it in the E-mini. Look at all the volume they bought there. Before the news. Clearly somebody knew it was coming. I mean, you saw me. I put in an order just in case it was bad because I thought that it was likely to take a hit, and it didn't take a hit at all. Maybe we have to wait a month to see the hit. Christopher Barant says I was wrong. Contrary to my guess, President's situation rose sharply, reaching the highest level since November of 2000. Talking about the consumer confidence number. And yet, the E-mini is kind of trading on the lower. Do you still believe that there may be insider trader trading happening in the market? Well, so, I mean, of course there is insider trading happening in the market. But the question, I mean, we know that it happens because people get prosecuted for cases, right? But the question is how much insider trading happens in the market and how influential is it on price? No way to know, really, right? Um, but I would say that, especially in futures, you got to remember that insider trading with futures is a little bit different, right? So a really good example is if you're a farmer and you are growing wheat and you go out there and you sell wheat futures, well, you have insider information, right? Because you know how much wheat you're yielding and how your crop is doing and all of these sorts of things. So in reality, you have insider information and you're trading on insider information that nobody else has. So um, the information imbalance in futures market is different from say the stock market, and you can do things that you're not allowed to do in the stock market. Um, and then there's always just things like people have ways of knowing things they might not know the number, but they might know other things that tells them that there's a really, really good chance that the number is actually going to be pretty good, you know? But it's I don't always see moves going into the numbers, but especially lately we've seen a lot of moves where you kind of saw some positioning taking place going into the news release, and then we saw it move afterwards in the direction that they were already trading it. We've seen that happen a lot lately, haven't we? So, I don't know. I would have to guess though that if it is a factor, it's probably not like a huge factor. I mean, you would have to say that it's not a big enough factor to prevent you from trading if you're going to trade, right? Otherwise, why would you trade? I don't know. See, there's not like I'm not seeing huge move in cumulative delta there, but look, they're looking at the low. I suppose we do have two contradicting flows here at the moment because there was certainly some disappointment with their failure to get above the single prints up at around 2,900. But then the consumer confidence number was good. I think that the consumer confidence number is really important. Um, but normally it's not a huge number. It's normally not as influential as it has been these past few weeks. Um, so we could say it's possible that they ignore the number and sell anyways. But like I was saying earlier, I would have a hard time seeing like a real market crash or anything like that. But we'll see. It could, and I probably have about as equal of a chance of being wrong as anybody else. It's sure not moving here. In fact, they haven't tried hitting into evens there for a while. Okay, there they did it that time. Let's see if they can get this to flip here. That would be nice. Nope. Hmm. See, the problem that I continue to see here in the treasuries is that it looks like that they're trading off of the E-mini. And so you could see an imbalance or um, volume going one way in the treasuries, and it might not matter. Interesting that they're willing to take it down there like that as the E-mini is like touching its lows almost. Look at that. And in fact, now they flip it at 31 half. It looks like I'm probably going to get filled at 31. Thank you. Did you notice how you started to see the level 2 get a lot more active before they went down there for that? Do you see? So far, the ES is only in a 10-point range. It's been news-driven and is waiting for news. Oh, this is a good point. So I still haven't heard anything about the Brexit thing, right? Is that still a thing? You still around, Monkey? Are we still waiting on that? If that happens, when would we expect to see it? Okay, so there's an iceberg at 31. I get through it. I'm noticing that the 10 years is looking a little gappy. The 30-year pulled back there considerably. It's about a 4-tick pullback in the 30-year. See, the E-mini is just spending a lot of time down there, isn't it? Okay. There's a little bit of stops there now as a new low in ES. Not overnight session low, but just a regular session low. I should zoom out here a little bit. Overnight view up is 2886. Treasuries still showing some sell pressure. See that? And still a relatively high amount of level 2 activity. The UK is due to leave the European Union at 2300 GMT on October 2019. Yeah. But there was going to be a vote today. They were going to try and delay it. Jeremy Corbyn has written to 116 Conservative or Independent MPs asking them to work with him to block a no-deal Brexit. Theresa May and Philip Hammond have been sent the letter, which is below in full. I'm not going to read it. So the Brexit news is probably still a ways out. Donald Trump starting to look good for the highly respected Prime Minister of the Italian Republic, Giuseppe Conte. Represented Italy powerfully at the G7, loves his country greatly, and works well with the USA. A very talented man who will hopefully remain Prime Minister. Why don't you look at the footprint chart? I don't know. I haven't even bothered pulling up the footprint chart in ES. Or sorry, not ES, in the 10-year here. You seeing something in the footprint chart? You could post a picture. Or you go in that Discord is the best place for the picture. By the way, guys, if you have not checked out our Discord is amazing. And I'm not just saying that to promote the Discord. You gotta keep in mind the Discord existed before the YouTube and is not really my Discord. It's just like a community thing. There are so many great resources, especially if you go into the education channel. It's been around now for like what, almost 3 years now. It's really great. And, if you're looking for discussion about markets outside of the time that I'm streaming, That is a great place to check out. So, and you can post pictures, and I watch that just like I'd watch the YouTube. So if you go and you post a picture over there, I'll see it, and that can give you a easier way to show me, things that you guys are seeing or that you think that maybe I should take a look at. So, yeah, links in the video description below. Okay. So that dropped there at 31 pretty quickly, but they bought it back up. In fact, there might even be an iceberg there at 31. Clicky clicky. Holds. That actually kind of felt to me like maybe that was well, I didn't see it pull there. No, 101. I did see it pull. They put ask 424 bid. Huh. We do have a footprint chart in NinjaTrader 8 though now, don't we? Okay, so now they're trying to buy 331.5. Not really holding it. But I'm getting a high level of activity. So let's just be grateful for what we got. Well, I tell you what, Luce, because you said that now I feel like I need to. Now I feel like I need to come over here and try something. Okay. So let's see here. What is it? We get order flow, not cumulative delta, market depth, trade detector, volume profile, VWAP. Oh, they're going to make a footprint, but they don't have one. Is that correct? There's a volume profile type, volume. Maybe, is it in here? No child. I guess they don't have it in NinjaTrader 8 yet. So, I'll close that. You know what? I used to have like my own footprint chart. Actually, I kind of broke it and I need to fix it. And I didn't really use it that much. The thing is that lately I really like to be in the moment. Like I know that an NT8 probably charging extra for the volume footprint. Well, I think that it's going to be another feature that you have to have the license for. But John, who I would consider my mentor and as a great guy, is letting me borrow one of the licenses that he had because he developed indicators for them, and they give you a license for that, and so he's letting me use that one. So I'll be able to try it out. There's some stuff you know what though? You know what really drives me nuts about it though? Is that because it's a valuable thing apparently, you know, the code for how they do all of that stuff is completely hidden from you. And I mean, I thought that maybe you would still be able to extend the methods and build on it and change some of the behavior and stuff, but no, you can't You can't touch it at all. So what I wanted to do was I wanted to make my own Vista chart um, that was did the same thing as what I do here on my level 2 thing, and you can't do it. You'd have to make your own from scratch. And I'm concerned that it wouldn't draw very well. You'd create too many drawing objects. I mean, I feel like I have too much drawing stuff already. So I changed a few things. I still have 370 frames missed due to rendering lag. I would say my DPC latency probably has been better. I should run that. Oh, how do I do it? That's not it. Where is it? Latency mod. That's what it's called. Uh, your screen will go black there a little bit. Let's start running it here. See if it tells us anything. Well, I sure called that one. Look at that, move higher. Well, I don't want to say I called it because I didn't buy it. Could have gotten long. But they wanted that. What's with that? 235 graphics kernel. It seems to me that my graphics card is just not so great. It seems like that when you've got like a trillion charts going and everything else like that, that uh, it just can't handle the load sometimes when it's moving really quickly. So then the question is, do we close some things and maybe that makes it better? I tried changing some things on the OBS side, like the scaling filter, but yeah, that didn't change anything. I was running this yesterday. I actually found a process that was screwed up. It was, I think that I had something on my machine that I didn't want, and when I uninstalled it, the references to it were still there. So it kept trying to start this application that didn't exist, and it was logging stuff in the log. Actually, I want to go and check that too. Let's see if did I get any error events. I'm showing you all super technical stuff now. So if you're not super technical, and when now you know something important, this is the event viewer. So I can come in here, Windows Logs, Application. Ah, I do have some errors today. What do we got? Okay. Cannot load sysmain.dll. Service performance object. So let's copy that and search for that because that's kind of weird. Did you go long ZB? I should have. I didn't. I didn't take it. Wait, what did you win long? Oh, you went long at 31? Oh, yeah, you totally got it. No, I was, you know what, IQ? I was in the short and I saw it and I got out and then I was just kind of like, okay, and just kind of watched it. Because it didn't make sense to me why, but I really should get into the habit of reversing. I should have tried to reverse it there, but woulda, coulda, shoulda. Hmm. Hmm. But where do you get the file from? Yeah, two trades I put out there. Enjoy. I'm out at 05. Good job. I've been seeing this, so it's kind of interesting, IQ, because you're getting signals in some of the same places that I am, but you're taking them all. But sometimes your exits are a little weird to me. So why 05 that time? Well, yes, this is exactly what I had. Hmm. I haven't had any dropouts yet. I'm not the only person that has had this problem, but they're just saying there's some utilities that will scan your system modules to make sure that they're correct. Non Microsoft DLL. It might be time for a reinstall, folks. That's what I'm thinking. That kind of an error says to me maybe I should reinstall Windows. Well, oh, you know what? The ZB did give us an out at it actually gave it to us like up at 04. I forgot, didn't realize that. Hmm. I don't know anything about how IQ gets his signals, though. I'm wondering if it's going to give us another short here. Probably not one I should take, but it looks like it might be giving us a short here. Well, I tell you what, I have a lot of viewers today, so I'd like to give you guys extra thanks for watching. And guess should remind you guys to hit that like button. Although, you know what, if you hit the like button, then YouTube is going to boost the algorithm. And then people are going to get recommended this video that is really quite boring. Really quite boring, wouldn't you say? Oh, you know what? I changed a couple of things. I wonder if that had anything to do with it today. Let's look. Because I put some hashtags in there, and apparently it's supposed to put them into the title. No, I don't see it. It doesn't look like it did. It doesn't look like it. Oh, no, wait. Yeah, it does when you view it. It says day trading and futures. I like it. That's cool. Ice Wallow Come. Just subbed. You missed it? Oh, well, you know what? I don't watch the subs. To be honest, I watch the chat. I don't watch the subs. And why do I not watch the subs? Because we're such a small community. I know everybody that comes in and talks. And I don't know. I mean, we're kind of a different thing. I understand why the gamers have those streams. You know, I've seen it, right? Somebody subscribes or somebody follows you, and there's like a big message that shows across. Oh no! Now wait. Did he sub? Like he actually like did the subscription thing? Which let's look here. I'm blah 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 blah. Don't even see it. Well, let me tell you something, Cross Eye. Don't subscribe. Follow on Twitter or on Twitch so that you know when I'm live and everything. But there's no point in subscribing. No point in. I'm not here to make money off of the streaming itself per se. You know, we do the advertisements on YouTube, and we do have the Patreon, and that's different because on Patreon, I'm giving you something that can make you money. And so we get a subscription for that. And the main reason I asked for this subscription on that is because I think that it shows a lot of authority that there are so many people willing to pay for the Patreon subscription for over 2 years now. You know, dedicated followers that have found that chart to be useful. But, you know, on Twitch, no. Like if Twitch came to me and said, hey, we want you to be a partner now, I would tell them no. I would tell them no because I would not be able to stream to other platforms, and that's not the way they were trying to do it. And honestly, I honestly just don't think that there's that many people out there willing to subscribe to that for day trading. It's just probably never going to happen. Anyways, so yeah. But I really appreciate the three of you guys that are watching on Twitch right now. I do. I appreciate all of you, really. But oh, why is it doing that? It wants me to relog in. I hate that sort of a thing. Very well. Very well. Cool. So we should post generate things. I'm looking here on my Twitch. I'm noticing that I went and I created a little smiley that you get for when you subscribe. But, you know, that's only if you subscribe, and I should probably get rid of that. Or at least take the little thing off of from the bottom. Documents. Yeah, 2 years of charts. It's hard to wrap my head around sometimes that I got that many. We've been doing it for that long. And by the way, have they moved since? Hmm. This is very interesting stuff this past day. All right, I'm going to do some typing here. All right. So, I guess I mean, I was kind of thinking maybe they were going to sell it here. They could still do it, but not nearly as good of a signal as this one, man. They just bought that thing up there. So, no. Interesting. But I'm still thinking about, well, where was it? Was it this one down here? Where we were like, we should have bought that? And then it went, and it actually did end up going higher. I'd have to say, though, that's the first time I've seen that signal like that, and it only go like 2 to 4 ticks. So that one was kind of weird. Anyways, though, I think that's about it. So if we look at the day today, why is Jigsaw's kind of looking at me weird? I did take those 2 trades in the E-mini that didn't work out, and then I was messing around in the treasuries, or with multiple lots. But it's rollover week. We're just kind of playing. So, but it did end up being positive, kind of. Overall, though, I would say that there was some okay opportunities today, and I didn't really get a whole lot for it, did I? But what happens. So, anyways, I thank you guys all for stopping in. I'll see you tomorrow, and in the meantime, stay profitable.